The night beckons.
If you're looking at getting into prop building, a jigsaw is the easiest way to get started. It has a low entry price and is easy to use, plus it's a great way to get comfortable with power tools. It's also great for cutting wood in unique shapes and can easily be used to chop up PVC. A circular saw is a great tool when you need to make straight cuts on plywood and makes quick work of 2x4s if you need a bunch of small pieces. The other nice quality is they are relatively inexpensive. Where saws take things apart, a drill puts them together. No matter the project, a drill comes in handy. In my experience, drilling pilot holes leads to less wood splitting and screws not wandering off. If you're like me, a second drill to use solely as a driver comes in very handy. There isn't too much to say about clamps. Clamps hold things together. Clamps are great. You can never have too many of them. Side cutters or wire cutters are a tool that I couldn't live without. Side cutters allow you to more easily cut zip ties and can do it in really tight spaces. People try to use scissors and they can do the trick, but side cutters will make your life a lot easier. A measuring tape is an obvious tool that any builder should have. However, a speed square is often overlooked. A speed square is an incredibly useful tool in its own right. It allows you to measure or draw on an angle of interest, make sure you have the perfect right angle or line for a cut, or on occasion is just a reliable straight edge. But when paired with a circular saw, it has endless potential. If you're going to be cutting PVC, a pipe cutter is usually a good tool to have. You can use a jigsaw like mentioned earlier, but a pipe cutter is a little more flexibility and doesn't require power. While the style shown here works, I recommend this other one a lot more. It is a bit easier to use, and it can double as a very easy way to cut thick rope. I used it a lot when building my pirate ship last year. Some refuse to use it, but I can't recommend safety equipment enough. Hearing protection, eye protection, and a mask will cover a lot of your bases, and I recommend using whenever using loud power tools. A miter saw is not a required tool, but is easily one of my favorites. A circular saw can make a lot of the same cuts, and then some. But a miter saw is excellent at making repeatable cuts. We're not going to spend too much time on each of the consumables, as what they are is pretty obvious. Zip ties have tons of uses. They come in all kinds of sizes and colors. Don't be afraid to use zip ties temporarily either. The one thing I recommend is having a large container to keep them all. Tape is great for holding things together. Getting easy tear tape isn't just better to not have to use scissors, it also prevents them from getting gunked up. Pencils are just a great tool to have. They're great for marking lines of interest or lines to cut, and even notes just to keep track of your project a lot easier. While we're on it, sharp point markers can be used interchangeably with pencils, but are also great for marking larger pieces, where it helps to be able to read it from further away. I call these bad, but they aren't. In fact, they're very good tools. They just have very particular uses and may not be as common for Halloween. This might get a little controversial, but a sander doesn't have as much use as I hoped. I do use it, but it's not very often. A sander is a finishing tool, and for the most part, unfinished damaged wood is a better look for Halloween. A table saw is an excellent tool. However, for Halloween props, it tends to have very limited uses. Again, last year I was building a pirate ship, and I needed to cut 200 strips. Needless to say, a table saw was extremely beneficial. Have regrets buying a tool? Share it below and help other hunters save money. Or can't recommend it enough? Drop it below as well. Thanks for watching.
The night beckons.